I wanted to learn and understand about pre-loved fashion, and I have got in the room, in my cupboard, Amy Bannerman, who I wanted to introduce you to. Many of you might know her already. She has a fantastic Instagram account. You must follow it after this. But you've loved pre-love for many, many years.
Yeah.
And just as your final intro, you also did all of the outfits for Love Island because they decided, let's be responsible.
Yeah, I dressed Love Island entirely in eBay.
Incredible.
So it was like the dream. Yeah, the dream
Brilliant.
job.
So what we're going to learn today is how to shop for pre-loved, some really interesting stats to make you think twice about fast is fast fashion, but even about just how long you keep something in your wardrobe and how many thoughts you have before you buy it.
Yeah.
Because then you might have a chance, if you love it tremendously, it will last years in your wardrobe. So all of those things.
Yeah, and we're going to look in your wardrobe.
And we're going to look in my wardrobe.
Which I'm very excited
You're going to ask these questions, and Amy's brought some her favourite pre-love things from her wardrobe, and I've got some favourite pre-love things too. But I want to start with some stats, Amy, because
I've got some stats.
You've got some
I
really
have
good
to rely on
stats.
my paper.
That's fine.
I'm not the most mathematical
darling.
person.
But I think to set us in the sense of why we should feel even more passionate about buying pre-loved, fire away. Give us some stats.
Yeah, so we were doing some research this week ahead of coming here. How much clothing ends up in landfills each year? It's 360,000 tons, which when I googled this morning, because it's quite an abstract.
Yes, it is.
thought.
Like how many pieces of clothing might that be?
Yeah, that's 360,000 polar bears or adult male mooses.
Okay.
Which you can imagine, like a huge 360,000 of those animals in a pile would be quite enormous.
And I'm just thinking also one polar bear could be
as big
200
as
pieces of clothing squished together.
Yeah.
All right, so 200 pieces of clothing times 365 is you are at a few 100 million articles of clothing.
Yeah, and it's 140 million pounds worth. So
which is just thrown away every year.
Yeah, just sitting and not composing.
So it hasn't gone to a second hand. Somebody hasn't taken it to Oxfam or anything. What have they done with it that it ends in a landfill?
Well, I guess a lot of it is fast fashion that hasn't sold.
And they put it in landfill.
Yeah,
really, because we have lots of people who might say, do you know that during COVID, this is just an opinion, Zara put stuff in a landfill because it's too difficult to return. But are there actual facts around this, Amy, where people are, do you think, putting things straight into a landfill if they don't sell?
I've seen articles recently and it does name brands, but I don't have the facts
but just worth thinking in the back of our head.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, because if it's gone in the sale and it doesn't sell, like it has to go somewhere.
Yeah,
it's
it has
not.
to go somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, another one in there?
How many Brits say they have unwanted clothing in their homes right now?
I'd say 100%.
No, I mean, I was quite surprised because I would say most people I know say that.
Yeah.
Like it's always a task you have to get done. But more than 60% of us, and 41% say they don't actually know how to do it. So they have the stuff and they don't know what to do with it.
All right, so we could even start with that 41% as well and come back to some stats through the show to just go through and remind ourselves why we're talking about pre-love fashion today. It is Secondhand September, which means go into secondhand stores and buy things instead of going to buy new clothes. And it's just that focus on all the different ways. And secondhand can be anything. It can be vintage, minted, eBay, Depop, Oxfam, many charity shops. I just say Oxfam because it's near me. And I just think when people say that, Amy, they're kind of thinking, how do I go about it? And a lot of our life can be online as well. But if you're in a store, if you're in a lovely charity shop, how do you then think how do you make the process?
Well, I go all the time, so it's not like I don't just one day think I'm going to buy some second-hand stuff, because it doesn't work like that. You have to be quite, like, you live near one, if you just pop in, and you can pop in and you just, this is beautifully arranged, they're never quite as colour coordinated, but you can just cast your eye over, and I think I always look for fabrics, and I find it frustrating now, a lot of stuff is fast fashion, which is not why I'm going there, so I kind of scan, and if I see something, I know you can tell if something's handmade or if it's vintage or if it's a nice cotton. So by fabric, I guess, and I can like scan without touching. I was in a shop recently and he said you can touch the things. I was like, I don't want to. I can see. I don't
can
want
I just say it's interesting you say this thing about it's sad there's fast fashion there, but what I would say is it hasn't ended in landfill, it's in the second-hand store. So it's good that it could get a second life.
It's good for the environment, but I guess I'm sad for myself because that's not what I feel like. If you go into a charity shop and it's all just fast fashion, it feels a bit, I don't know.
It doesn't feel like that journey of adventure.
No.
And there's times when I've you know, let's go through your things and where you found them, and then I'll go through mine, because I think every piece of clothing has a story to tell.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the reason I love it so much. So this was one of the first things I found in a charity shop in the town I grew up in, Tunbridge Wells. Yeah. It was in the Mine charity shop, and I remember seeing it. I mean, it needs a bit of a
Can I put it on for you?
Yeah. So when I worked at Elle as an assistant quite a long time ago now, I had my photo taken, and it was like my first ever professional photo, and I could wear whatever I wanted, but I chose to wear this, and I remember putting it on and thinking, I feel really good, and I think it was about £15. So that was
so Moschino, cheap and chic, £15 is fantastic.
And I remember when I found it in the charity shop, someone was following me around, hoping I'd put it down, and I was like,
that's a sign you've got the right things in your hand.
And so when it's buttoned, it's
very
really
nice,
shaped.
Very shape, and for your shape, because you are an hourglass with a very small waist and boob and in proportion totally, this is like your perfect shape.
It doesn't fit me anymore, sadly, but maybe one day.
You had a baby?
Yeah, I had a baby.
The ribs increased, huh? The ribs kind of went...
Just everything.
Yeah. But it is fantastic, and
it was a real find, so it just reminds me of that, like, that's what I was saying before, it's that it was just a normal charity shop, but it's finding that kind of mega, like, gold dust, rare things. And then denim obviously is a real polluter, but pre-loved denim is very soft and better for the environment. This is an 80s denim jacket, and I think I got this online.
What I'm loving is it's a quilted denim jacket I've never seen before.
But I'm actually going to take the quilting out because it adds too much bulk to me. Like, I love all the zips, and I love all, like, these zips.
But it gives you warmth. It must give you extra warmth, that.
Yeah, I just didn't really... I wanted it more like a spring jacket.
You did? Okay,
but
let me have a look at it. But these
zips are the zips that all the luxury houses use, so it's really good quality.
So it's a fantastic quality.
And was it
from a named brand?
No, it's just... I was looking for a vintage denim jacket.
Yeah. This is
very
something
cool,
like,
isn't it?
It's super cool, because what it is, it's a biker jacket and a vintage jean jacket had a baby, because that detail there is a biker jacket detail.
And the padding.
Yeah, it makes me think...
And look on the back as well, it's got this amazing, like, ribbing.
It's really, like, that is a find.
And it was really cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could get into that. We talk a lot, Amy, about ageless dressing.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of people who, you know, we have a ton of different age groups here, but we have an age group too. Maybe they've had a baby or they've changed their work, and there's a thing of, who am I today?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
And difficult when you go into stores and you think, I don't identify with that fashion.
It's really hard.
But when you go backwards and you're my age of 58, I attach. So when I shop in a second-hand store, and so you never, okay, this one. So I would have bought that first time round, because in the 80s I was 20, so I would have bought it, whereas for you this is like, it has no relationship of an era gone by.
No, but now I am having that, because all of the 80s and 90s Y2K, when people are talking about how retro that is, I'm like, oh, because I'm 42. Okay. So
you're a bit older than you look. I literally thought you were 35.
Oh, that's kind.
Yeah, I did. so I'm not going. I can take you slightly out of that bracket now. Okay. Shall we get some questions from the floor, Faith? Because Faith is behind, and do some questions as we go through these lovely things of Amy's.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone has said, how can you tell if something's good quality from a second-hand place?
Yeah.
I think
label is an obvious one.
Yeah, label or the fabric. Like, I think I rather wear like
nice fabrics.
Like
sweat.
Jumpers, even if it's a inexpensive jumper, I would like it to be cashmere or wool.
Yeah.
And in the summer I try my cotton, because it's obviously more breathable.
Yeah.
But I think you can just tell by feeling it.
Yeah.
And obviously now we're coming out of COVID, you can go and touch
actually
everything.
Feel. Yeah, I think online is harder. I was looking,
it really is.
And I really want to talk to you about eBay fashion.
Yeah.
Give me another one. That bustier I want to see, because that bustier is super cool.
I've had this for years.
Yeah.
Was
this your kind of success?
I never wore it.
Oh, you never? Oh my God.
There's certain things that I saw, like I must have seen. I can't even remember where I got it, but I just thought I need to have it for like a shoot or
so cool.
and it's Velcro.
Oh
so
God.
You can put it on.
So I'm just going to put it on like that. The Velcro won't sit well with my
this might be quite.
No, but I would nearly do that. Like if that was like
but
that.
But isn't it good, like over a shirt or something?
Like that.
It's very Madonna, isn't it?
But it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah, it's like if I had a black skirt.
Yeah. Or jeans.
Yeah.
And
things like this, to me, are the treasures of second-hand shopping, because they're things that somebody comes up and goes, what is that?
Yeah, yeah.
And
you would never be looking for it. You would never go on eBay and think, I need a velvet pearl encrusted.
You've got to wear it.
Bustier. No, it doesn't fit my.
I know, but you can make
my
it.
boobs.
And your boobs
too
are
big.
okay. All right. So, do you want to sell it?
No.
To say goodbye. You have a son, don't you, or a daughter?
Son.
Oh, yeah. So
he might want to wear it.
Yes, he might want to wear it. It's very true. It's very nice. So you're just going to have it in your wardrobe, looking pretty.
Well, it's a styling thing. So
yes,
you're
right.
I haven't actually shot it yet, but it's kind of waiting.
How long have you had it?
I think about 20 years.
And you haven't used it yet on the shoot. You've got to give it to somebody who's going to use it. That's the thing. It's sitting in your wardrobe with no life.
I took it on a shoot this week, and then it just wasn't the right thing.
It wasn't the right vibe. And nobody on Love Island would look good in that.
I wouldn't have sent it because it would mean it would be given away. Yeah. No, it would just be given away. Okay. It wouldn't be mine anymore.
All right.
I want to keep it.
Shall I show you some of mine?
Yes, please.
Because I had to have a real search. Molly and I had a real search because I have things I've kept a long time, Amy. Yeah. So I'll have a Zara coat from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I keep fashion a lot.
Yeah.
And I try and buy what I wear. And I probably now, there's a stat that people wear 20% of their wardrobe 80% of the time. And I probably want to switch it. I want to get to a stage where I switch it. Yeah. So I wear 80% of my wardrobe all the time, and not 50%, because I think we can all have that let's go to the next thing, and there's got to be a time you let go.
Yeah, and I also think that's a really good point about you having Zara that you've had for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like if you want to shop on the high street, buy things that it isn't like one of those major trend pieces where you think, actually I would, I don't know, like a great blazer or black trousers that you think these won't age, and then that's a sustainable way of shopping on the high street.
I think things age more than others.
Yeah.
So, for example, I think shoes really age.
Yeah.
Even though you've got some shoes there, which you're going to show me,
which
weren't new.
Show you.
Okay, show me, because I'm really jealous you've got these pre-loved.
Because I've been stalking you and watching your story.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I know you love the Prada, you've got the slip-on ones.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I bought these pre-loved about 5 months ago, and I wore them until it got hot. I wore them every single day.
Where did you get them?
I got them on. They were on Depop actually.
They were on Depop.
But I met the girl was a model. She had them for a shoot.
Yeah.
She came and met me in London, and we had a really nice chat. And I thought, God, it was a really pleasant experience.
The whole thing was more than just buying shoes quickly and running into Prada.
She was so sweet and
and you have a story of these shoots, which is so important.
And she got some money, and I was very happy.
Yeah.
But these were like the kind of thing. Well, I really lusted. I think $550.
$550, and they're about now $800.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
And she'd worn them a couple of times, and then this is an example of something. It completely changed everything in my wardrobe.
Yes.
One of my friends said, it's like, after a baby you just don't know who you are, and it felt like it just tied everything
together.
Whatever I put on, if I put those on, I was like,
I'm cool.
Yeah,
I'm cool again. It's that the thing. Cool. Anyone there who's having a baby or had a baby, it's that moment when you think, I've got to get out of the tenting and I want to feel cool again.
Yeah.
It's such an important moment.
It's really difficult.
All right, shall we go for some of mine?
Yeah.
All right, and we can take some questions, Faith, in the meantime.
How do you know when it's time to let go of something?
I think when you stop getting joy from it.
Yeah,
me too. I just think, unless you're a stylist and then she's got an excuse and a half to hold on to everything, like I did Closet Confessions, it's difficult. We have unusual jobs, both of us. But
but also, if I've said before, if you had something that you really, really loved and you know it's never going to fit again, like these things that, like we're talking about body changes, if I've got jeans that I wore every day and they're never going to fit me, then it just makes you sad. So I think that's a good point to say, okay, someone else can get joy from it.
Exactly.
Or if you haven't worn it, I'm surely there's a year's, if you haven't worn it for 3 years, maybe?
Maybe, but then there's things that Molly and I would think about that suddenly I found and I loved again.
Yeah.
And I hadn't worn for about 3 years. But 3 years is a good cutting off point.
Yeah.
Especially COVID. We have to sort of say 4 years because the COVID years... The COVID years. We're not the Cold War years, the COVID years. We're not times when we sometimes, So I'm going to
We didn't wear anything. I mean...
Just pyjamas.
Like,
and joggers.
Okay, speak. Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to show you what I most got the wear of and what I have yet to get the wear of. All right. So.
Also, is there anything you would sell that's here?
That I would sell again?
No, that you would sell or are these all things you want to keep?
I don't know yet, but let's go through.
Yeah.
So the first one is I was on Vestiaire Collective and I saw this and I was looking for gilets and I'd never seen it in Stella in the shop.
I remember that collection there.
And
there was a coat.
Yeah, there was a coat. But I think this wasn't made. I think I saw one again. But it's kind of faux fur, and it's 2 different leopard prints, so I wear it with leopard print underneath and I layer the leopard print. But I can wear it, it's just easy.
And it's good for this time of year.
It's very good for this time of year. And also, if you're kind of feeling, what are the trends? I hate bloody trends, but gilets are oddly a trend for autumn winter, as well as very long coats, sequin, and a few other things. The thing I most regret buying is something where I had the original, and then I thought, let me be clever and go on eBay and find another one. So I found this because I had another Tory Burch dress, which was this shape, but then the first one I got, so I got it first, and I tried on, it was to here, because it was this dress, but it was the petite section. And I don't even think they'd listed this is for petites. So I was like...
But you liked that.
But I liked it. So then I sent it back, and they took it back. I think the woman also had this, funny enough, so I think she bought a few things. So that was that. But I haven't worn it, and I think it was a moment, I'll tell you when this is when I make mistakes. I'm on holiday, and I'm in love with the concept, far away from my wardrobe, and how it's going to slot in.
Lots of people say that.
And I make that impulsive moment where I'm, you know, so relaxed on holiday, I haven't got 100 things to think about, so I think, oh, let me go shopping online. And let me do
I was doing that on holiday, actually.
So,
like really random things.
Which you then decide not to keep.
I was on holiday last week.
Oh, and they haven't come yet, so you're going to have to wait up,
recent.
This I got at Cow. Is it called Cow? But it's in Selfridges, and I just thought it was a real retro. I haven't found a way to wear it yet, but I love the colour combination. For me, and I think sometimes I buy prints for an inspiration of colours, and the colours of this gave me the inspiration to wear a green, weird, sort of snot green Zara suit with a bright pink.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I got it from that idea.
I would like that with like all black, like with a black kind of either like a biker jacket or a blazer and black, because it's. I know. I really love those colours.
I love those colours, but you know I don't do black with colour. That's my problem.
Oh, is it?
No, I don't. I just have to wait.
I didn't know that.
Alright, then this is one of my best finds.
Cool,
and this has trousers. This is from this is Yohji Yamamoto, or can you read it? Yeah, he's 42 and doesn't need trousers. Isimiaki?
No, that's saying the composition, see the attached label.
Okay, so this was...
So it's been cut.
No, because inside somewhere there's a kind of thing about...
Is it Dries?
No, it's not. No. It's Yohji Yamamoto. And
the lining's beautiful.
Yeah, it's where was it? Somewhere here, wasn't it? I'm sure I had it here. Yes, it was his.
Yeah.
It was his.
Yeah, it's really...
No, it was Yohji's.
No, it was generally his.
It was generally his. That's what I'm saying, it was his.
Oh my goodness.
There's a shop in New York called Tokyo 7, and I was taken there by one called Henry Solomon. Fantastic shop.
Yeah,
and it's the kind of thing, like when we talk about shopping in second hand, I went in first of all with this woman who said, you've got to look, and I looked and I skimmed, and I was like, maybe there's one thing. And then I just, you get settled in, and then you find 3 hours later you're still there. And this was his tailor in New York still had it, his pattern cutter, and it was Yohji's suit. And Yohji,
it's really beautiful.
And he just,
I got some Manolos in there for about £80, I think.
Fantastic.
They're so high I can't walk in them.
Well, then,
I've sat down in them before.
Then when I was there, I got this, which I don't know if I'll ever wear, which is the younger brand of Yamamoto, but it's just, I think it's not me.
You wear it?
I don't know.
Proportion.
It's more, it's very street, what I would call street.
Because of the logo?
Because of the kind of...
I love it. I really love the shape of it.
I know, it's a very good cover coat shape.
And actually that...
With this, with the
silver.
Maybe with black trousers I'd do that. Alright, so that we're going to...
And it sounds satisfying, doesn't it?
So satisfying.
Yeah.
Alright, then this was for a shoot, which I did for Nescafe, and I had to be Sound of Music like twice in my life now. And it was a really old one, and I just love it, and I kept it for Lila.
Yeah. It's a special
Has Lila worn it yet?
She hasn't worn it yet. She doesn't love it yet. And when you keep things for your kids, there's different eras by which they go, I'll never wear that. And then suddenly 3 years later, they say, why do you throw all this into it? So it's like understanding what they're going to reject, but you know at some stage they're not going to reject.
I think it will come back. It feels like the Lily Allen kind of, you know, where she was wearing all of those with trainers.
Amy Winehouse, all that kind of whole look. Yeah. Okay.
But maybe layered.
Bags, I went crazy. So during COVID, I had a vestiaire collector movement, and I just went, I went absolutely, I'm embarrassed by the insanity of what I did. But I'm going to show you 2 culprits. One I regret, and one I love.
Okay.
So these are 2 bags. Chanel and Prada.
Nice.
So I collect these bags. So I have a few of these bags here.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my goodness, it's yellow. And what happened is I got it, Amy, and this is better now because I sprayed it with so much fragrance, but if you smell it, it's a weird smell.
It is a weird smell.
And then I looked at it and I thought, I know it's real because I did this thing and I looked inside and I found the thing there.
Yeah.
But there was something about it that didn't feel right. And then somebody said to me, they painted it again.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you look at this, it's been painted again. And so that was a mistake.
They've done a great job.
They have, but it made me think
now you know it's been painted, do you feel a bit...
I don't know, it's just the smell that put me off, you know. So that's that one. This one I tried to keep in my cupboard and Lila takes out, but having a pattern bag, and I remember this collection really well from Prada, and I had, I think, the nostalgia because I had a dress in this and a coat, and I sold them to start Trinny London because I sold a lot of my clothes. Yeah. And I really was sad that I sold that.
I was just going to say, did you regret?
Yeah, I did those things. There were a few things there which were amazing, and I knew they'd get a lot of money, and I needed cash to start the business. But I bought this for the memory of that print, and it actually is great because it went purple and green. It's just a really, and it's also a very nice size bag.
Have you looked for the coat again?
No, I haven't, because I sort of think, I don't know, I feel I did that. It was a sort of sacrifice feeling of that I made. So to go and buy it again feels, it's less the story of my knowing I had to get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't. I think that's
I've got things that I look for endlessly that I sold when I was an assistant. Like if I had to pay a bill, or and I always feel sad and look
you
for
try
them.
to find them. Do you find them?
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about how we search well online for things. Any questions in the meantime, Faith?
Where's the best place to sell clothes?
Well, mixture of things. I mean, where do you think are the best places? I mean, I know that for me, I've sold at Vestiaire Collective. They take a bit of an amount, but that maybe has a good search engine. So if you have very high-end designer pieces, somebody's looking for something, and you can gauge also. I think what's good there is you very clearly can see the price you should sell it for, because you might look and find the same and think, I'll do £10 less, and then somebody wants money
that's
instead of
true.
Stuff like that.
It's quite good for fashion pieces, I think. I always think eBay is good for reach because it's such a it's the largest platform. So
how many millions of pieces of clothing are there?
Oh God, I don't know.
Millions and millions.
We can Google it.
But how do you navigate
searching?
On searching? What are your little tricks you can tell us?
Well, if you want something quickly, which obviously a lot of people think, on eBay you can't get something, you have to wait for it to be posted. There's like a radius tool, so you can say within 2 miles of my house or a mile of my house, and you can message them and say, can I do a buy it now, which means changing it from auction to just buying. I did that with a thing. I had to dress a TV presenter, and I wanted a Dries Van Noten shirt. I found one, said to the girl, can I come and get it today? And we had it within a couple of hours. So
oh my God!
Yeah, that's something I don't think
instant that you don't associate
it feels like
with
internet. It feels like actual, kind of luxury shopping, but you can have it so fast.
That's such a good point.
And then,
I'm going to remember that now. Yeah, I'm going to be searching on eBay.
Oh God! You'll know all your neighbours suddenly. And I think for getting bargains, like shopping out of season. So if in the summer look for, like I got an amazing leather trench coat, 80s, really
look
oversized.
The opposite season.
Yeah, because no one else is looking for it.
Good.
And obviously you have to be a bit more planned and think, what am I going to want in the winter?
Or what am I missing from last winter?
Yeah,
sometimes I sort of think, I wish I'd had that too. Like when you got into your Prada shoe moment, there might have been that everything came together in your wardrobe, but you thought, I'd love to have had the black covered coat.
I needed a different coat, which I got a cashmere floor length, like 80s overcoat that was enormous, but it's like touches the floor. For £15 in a charity shop, and it's pure cashmere. It's incredible. So
see, when we hear things like this, and we hear Molly had a story yesterday when my daughter was saying, I bought some cashmere in Scotland, I was there and it cost me £70, was that good? And Molly was saying, my cashmere jumper I got on was 15 from charity shop.
£2.
Sorry.
It was £2.
£2, like a Burberry check cashmere.
That's a great find.
That's a phenomenal find. I mean, how come it's always other people who have these finds? How come we have these finds?
But that's what I'm saying, you have to do it a lot. You can't just say today I'm going, well you can put a whole Saturday aside and go around an area, like an affluent area, it's quite good. I just pop in and out of if I'm going to the post office or something, I'll just pop in and go around really quickly.
I have a friend called Pippa Neville, who's quite infamous because her daughter's a model for Trinny London. She goes to three shops on Notting Hill Gate, and she will always turn up dinner with a huge, incredible ring or some amazing bracelet, and I'm like, where did you get it? And I know the word's going to go, and I'm going to, and I just, no, don't even say Pippa because it means I can't get it. But then, yeah, it is kind of, it's frustrating sometimes.
But I love that about pre-loved as well. So if you see something on someone, you can actually go and find it.
Yes.
It is, if you look, it's there.
So a lot of people have found things of my wardrobe. So, for example, Rachel Solomon, I know, found this. I know that...
Where's that from?
This is from Dries.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it
Dries
really,
is one of my favourites.
Dries is just like the best designer, just in terms of texture and fabric and print. I think a few of my... What else have people found? Like my like these bags. So I got this nylon bag here, Amy.
Yeah.
And then...
Was that a mistake?
This nylon bag. No, because I put my laptop in it, but I did think it was another bag when I got it. The problem was, this is just really unprofessional seeker, is I didn't check the size, because when I'd seen this in the shop, it was like, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, I do it with everything.
You've never checked the size.
I bought a desk that I thought was a full-size desk, and it came and it was
a kid's one.
No.
And when it arrived, maybe I should measure. I've done it with loads of things. Yeah.
I feel better now.
No, I think it's a fashion thing.
I thought
you
this was
just
a
think,
crossbody.
fine.
I thought it was going to be this size crossbody.
Yeah.
And it's a laptop case.
It's a cool laptop case.
It's a cool laptop, and I got it because I have this bag, which then a few people got.
Yeah,
and they
that's
found
great.
on Vestiaire Collective, who follow me.
Yeah.
And then other things people found is, I mean, just quite a few, like...
People found the Osman coat.
They found the Osman coat. This is a coat I got. So I get quite a few things that I might
I love Osman.
I love Osman. And this was £100 in the sample sale.
Wow, that's great.
Which was really, really good.
I've seen people copy the Balenciaga as well, the pink.
Yeah, the pink Balenciaga. People got.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I do think it's possible, and I've also had times when I have moments, and this is where I do like the idea of it.
I just find your wardrobe so satisfying. My wardrobe is
so this is a shirt I wore like every other day, all right? This was actually my introduction to silver tops.
Yeah.
All right, and it kept ripping, as you can see, this one's ripped and ripped and ripped.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't live without it. And also, because it's Lurex, sometimes you smell a bit. It's the only time I get underarm smell. And so I went on, just me. I never have BO apart from with Lurex.
Yeah.
So I went on to Vestiaire Collective.
Do you know how to get rid of it?
What?
Vodka.
Vodka?
Yeah.
What?
What, drinking it?
No, but you can drink it at the same time, but you put vodka, someone on my Instagram told me, vodka under the armpit, and then hang it outside. No,
and it gets rid of the smell of the BO.
Yeah, it really does.
And it doesn't stain the clothing?
No.
You heard it here first. Vodka for BO clothing, not body. Don't put it on your armpits. So this I put Stella McCartney Lurex shirt, and also I bought the shirt in Italian 38, which was too small. You know when you're over optimistic.
Well, that's to do with the...
Yeah, there. And then it popped up exactly the shirt in a 40, which is one I should have got. So that was kind of great.
So this is the replacement?
So that's the replacement. The other one's ripped away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do generally, I'm a double purchaser, because when I love something I purchase two.
Do you think that makes me love it less when I do that?
I know.
Do you find that?
Can I just say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it happen? Because it doesn't feel so special.
She's so right. You're so right, Amy.
I've done it with things and then I don't love it.
Because I love this, but now I have to. I think it's the fear of losing.
Yeah, you said
something.
About when you travel, there was one thing you always put in your.
I mean, I'll put things in my
embroidery on glaze.
Yes.
The Chloe.
The
top.
Chloe.
But then that makes you love it more, because if you had two, you wouldn't feel so
protective of it.
It's about that. It is the protection. I mean, I have a lot of love and protection for my clothes, which lots of people, because I'll tell stories. I can tell a story about every single thing I've bought.
Yeah.
All right. But you have a really good point that I should get rid of my doubles.
Or sell your doubles.
Sell my doubles.
Yeah,
when I say I should remove my double, Brand's going up close like I need to commit to this. I am committing that I'm going to go through and any doubles I'm going to sell or give away.
So there's one that's going to be
So there's a double. This is a double I know. This is a double I know. I can go through, these are triples.
Wow. You really love that one.
Yeah, I know. And then it all went wrong.
You invested.
Yeah, so it's interesting that kind of, this is variations of a theme, you know, when you like an idea and then you dwell into it.
Yeah, this is a great one. I love how shiny that is.
That's a fantastic, that's an old Lanvin one.
See, I'm obsessed with this kind of gold Lurex, but it's really hard to find.
So hard,
yeah.
It's a very...
It's like your YSL scarf.
No, this is ALC, but this is really hard to find. And the original one I got, which is slightly different, but these fabrics are very 1930s. They do gold lame dresses in this fabric. and a silk version is really difficult to find, and they do this in a synthetic version which feels hideous.
Yeah.
It's so difficult
I
to
love
find
them
this fabric.
with blue jeans.
Yeah.
It just, if you're working, it makes you feel
super cool.
ready, yeah.
And this is, if I had to lose anything, it might be this. I mean, if I couldn't bear to, but this is a scarf that just whenever I'm tired and whenever it's what I call my travel scarf, because I'll put it here and it would just lift my face.
Yeah,
it's that fabric.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you have other scarves, or is that your favourite?
No, I've got. Oh, you asked me if I have this again.
Oh, no. Do you wear other scarves, or is that like your?
This is like my scarf of scarves.
Yeah.
But then I wear all these scarves actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do wear all these
but
scarves.
But none of them are so slinky.
Yeah, and I went through that. You see, that's a double there.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah, and
I think they had such a moment, and then they felt a bit.
Then a lot of fakes came out.
Yeah, but I think maybe they're going to come back.
Yes, it would be nice.
Yeah.
Faith, some more questions. Come on, we're here.
Amy, so your specialty is kind of like a second-hand stylist.
Yeah.
Feels that's quite unique. So do you think that's kind of is the future, or should be the future of styling?
I think it's kind of unrealistic to expect everyone to dress in pre-loved, and I think part of the way people dress in real life, like you dress and I dress, is to have a mixture of stuff. Like I have some Zara things I've had for 15 or 20 years, and I have vintage and vintage designer or pre-loved designer. So it's like a mixture of dressing like that, and I think that's becoming much more kind of a thing. And also moving away from trends. I think people don't want to be told like it's summer, you have to wear this colour, or just be more playful with it all. So I think there's a definite shift.
And I think as a result of that, you don't have people so slavishly feeling I have to follow the interpretation of fashion from what's in the high street, because a lot of designer is inspired by a previous few decades. So it just, it is come forward a bit, darling, because you've got some light shining in our eyes. Other things that are, other questions, because I feel we haven't taken lots of questions.
Yeah, we just, a bit more about your career. How did you get into styling?
So my first job was at Topshop as a personal shopper.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it on the way here, because, it was around the time when you were doing your show. And I think I probably, I must have taken, I watched your show avidly. Yeah. And so I'd get people coming in and often wanting restyling, and it was just an amazing place to start, because you'd have someone say, I've had a baby and I feel dreadful, and you'd be, get them into something different, and just seeing that transformation I loved, and it's really plays into now what I do, even with the Love Islanders, meeting them and saying, how do you want to look, and whose style do you love, and that kind of thing. So it's all kind of led to here. But yeah, I worked at Topshop, and then I assisted lots of different stylists, and worked at different magazines, worked at Elle, Cosmopolitan, and yeah, I set up a market stall when I was 22. I got a loan from Prince Charles, from the Prince's Trust.
Amazing.
And I flew to Canada. My mum's Canadian, so I go there a lot, and I shipped loads of charity shop stuff back here and sold it in Spitalfields. So I guess that was the start of my real kind of love of pre-loved. And then it's just gone through everything. Like it's in all parts of my life.
How do you think people can start nowadays? Because when you started, that was 15, 20 years ago. And lots of times we have a little bit more. But I still think you're 30. I keep thinking you're 35. But because a lot of people ask, my daughter wants to get into styling or into things. But how do we think we can give advice to people who want to get into it? Because it's very much harder nowadays than kind of. But it is, you did some very self-starter things, which I think are important to think about too.
But then we didn't have social media.
No, we didn't.
So that's a whole different thing. And I think often people say to me, when I was at Cosmopolitan, was my last magazine job, and people would say, how can I get into magazines? And I was just like, don't. Because
that's such an honest answer.
But it's really, I didn't want to, it's very, very, the industry is very small. And there's a lot of people who want the jobs. It's really competitive. There's so many other styling things, like in-store styling. I really enjoyed that. You meet loads of people. You get to know.
And you see different body shapes. And what I loved about what not to wear is it was different people every day.
Yeah.
And you're not being slavish to fashion, and you're feeling that kind of everyone is different and everyone's different shape.
Yeah, I found that really at that age was something which really impacted me, because even now my body's changed enormously, but I don't feel self-conscious, and I think seeing all those different women, I thought they all looked beautiful. It's like, I don't, if they were like, oh, I hate my tummy, or I just thought, you look incredible, and it was great to see that, and see that you don't have to have these hang-ups.
that's also something I think is sometimes a challenge, because if you're curvy and you're not the classic, and also sizes have changed. I mean, when I look at a size, English size 8 from an Ossie Clark era, it's like what now would be a 4 or a 6. So they're very, very small, because in that sort of 40s and 50s, there was just a different everything, but people were generally smaller. There was a different type of food they were eating. There was very less refined, whatever it might have been. There was an average shape in the 40s, which was more curvy. But then I think it just closed, so many clothes from that era of sort of 60s and 70s. You know, if you're a curvy woman, you think, I can't find that. How can you, as a curvy woman, be as successful as your friend who doesn't have an issue around not having many choices?
I mean, I wear quite a lot of menswear. Like that, this was one of my shirts I bought. So when I started Love Island, one of my assistants told me how, because I'm obsessed with men's shirts, and he said, have you got any Dior ones, men's Dior ones? So that's it's not ironed. I'm not a fan of ironing. But the stripe is so lovely, and they're such amazing quality. So yeah, I mean, for my shape, because I have really big boobs, the shirt is really good because it's kind of relaxed around there. And then I guess I wear things like that with more staple, like black skirt, black trousers, or jeans. And I think getting things altered. Like I saw around here, you had a Chinese dressing gown. I went through the stage of buying vintage silk, with the beautiful embroidery, and I had just some buttons put on the front because they're quite roomy. But it gives a really nice shape, and it feels very comfortable when it's hot. So I guess being experimental and going in, if you like something, think how you can alter it and change it.
I'll show that one just so if you can see. It's very beautiful. But this was a piece that I got in Tokyo, and I was in a vintage market for kimonos, and I literally landed, and I heard about this market, so I landed from the airport. I went to the market because it's going to be closed after an hour.
That you're a woman of smiling.
So that was
I've done things like that.
I had terrible jet lag, and I was like, no, sorry. So this I wasn't wearing, and I thought, how can I wear it? So I cut off this kimono sleeve, and then I made, because most kimonos are wide here and then go narrow, so there's always that weird bit there that you think.
That's the bit that I made into.
Oh, you made into the buttons, And so I wear it now with a belt, and I'd wear it in the evening like that with nothing underneath.
See, I don't like exposing my arms, so I like the sleeve.
The flow of the sleeve,
Was the shoulder always like that?
And the shoulder, I put a big shoulder pad in. So because I wanted to have the opposite, because the kimono is always about that curve. And I wanted it to be about structure and straightness.
It's very, very nice.
So, Amy, it's been such a joy. I love it. Have we got last fire questions?
So, I mean, Amy, historically Love Island kind of do partnerships with fast fashion brands. I mean, what was the reaction when, eBay was the partnership of the year?
I mean, when they asked me, I was on my maternity leave, and I had actually just accepted redundancy from my job, so I was kind of in that stage a lot of women experience of feeling, you feel quite displaced, and I was floating around in the park with my son, and they came to me and said, did I want to, eBay said, would you like to do this? And it was literally like, I mean, the most amazing, my dream job, and a definite, like the highest point of my career, post-child is a really important thing to talk about, that your career doesn't have to be over once you've had children. And I mean, the reaction was, I mean, I was just like, this is my dream, and then the reaction from the press, the fact that it was in Vogue, The Sun, it was literally everywhere. Everyone wanted to ask about how it was going to work, and also then just the reaction from industry, people that know me saying, God, this is the perfect fit, because I'd worked at magazines like Cosmo, which are obviously quite fast fashion based, and I'd always tried to filter in pre-loved onto cover shoots and stuff, so I'd been trying to do it. So it felt like it was just the perfect thing.
And everything you love about it, you could tell people more about.
And I loved meeting them, and now I'm working with Tasha, who's the ambassador, and she is obsessed with clothes, and we talk all the time, and I'm always looking for things for her on eBay, so it's just, it doesn't feel like work, it's just
joy.
It's so fun.
Such a great story. I mean, such a good story. I love it.
And kind of when you go into a pre-loved store, or you're searching online, what are kind of the key things that you look for, or key pieces that draw your attention?
I guess I'm often looking for something particular, like we were saying, when you're getting dressed, if you think, oh, this would like to coming here, actually I was trying on different tops, and I thought, I really need a shorter skirt, and I need this kind of like more like a wintry, like A-line skirt. So then I would go and it would look for something really specific.
Yeah.
And then I think when you're searching, either if you've got time, be really general, just put in your size, like maybe the fabric, or if you know designers that you like who've done something like that, then that's obviously a quicker way of doing it.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they shop fast fashion because it's so much quicker and in some ways easier, but I mean you don't come out with the same quality.
In a way, it's about the whole mindset is. It's like getting a takeaway meal or deciding to cook. That would be the closest analogy.
Yeah, that is a good analogy.
And it's that we know that we can easily feed our appetite, but we might, at the end of that very quick inhalation, feel hungry very quickly afterwards, you know, because it's just like inhalation. Whereas cooking a meal, there's the joy of the cooking and the pleasure in the eating. And so I think it gives you that. I mean, the joy of finding something, and I think the longer it takes you to find it psychologically, maybe the longer you'll keep it.
Yeah, the reward.
I think it's a good.
I do think balance. For people that aren't naturally shopping pre-loved, don't go looking for something particular in charity shops or vintage shops, because it's just frustrating. Like, if I want this skirt and I'm going into the charity, it won't be there.
Yeah.
So I'd say when you go charity shopping, have an open mind.
But then you need to then think. Because you could be inspired by something.
Yeah, you could just find something incredible you never knew that you needed or wanted. But if you're looking for something specific pre-loved, to do it online because you can filter.
Oh, I see that. Okay, I got you. So that's very good. Specific online, grazing in store.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is that, because I will see things. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a bit about in store. So you could be obsessed and go into the world and go down a rabbit hole when you're in store of all these amazing things, and then you don't wear half of them. So how do you then, when you're in the store, refine the choice so you don't buy things just because of the dream of the moment?
I think it's good probably at the beginning of the season I always I know you do, put your winter stuff away.
Yeah. So
like all the stuff you're not going to wear, clean your wardrobe out a bit so it feels less kind of
cluttered.
Busy, and then see what's missing, or do I need or want. I mean, how much do we actually need is a question. But do I need a different shape of jeans, or do I need
a little bit more general?
I'm thinking, and if I bought this, how many different ways could I wear it? It's kind of like that. What would be most useful, and then have that vaguely in the back of your mind. I don't think you have to be really prescriptive about it, but when you're looking, it gives you a bit of kind of clarity. Because I know what you mean. You go in and then. But then also you can find amazing things like that. Yeah. I went to a local charity shop to my parents in Sussex and got this tweed, like a grandad blazer, and it was so beautifully made. Some of the buttons were missing. I had it mended, and it's just a perfect. Wasn't looking for it, but I'm going to wear it all the time.
Yeah.
So it was a
you
happy
didn't know
find.
how much you needed it. I think that's right, and I found sometimes things that felt so different. And it was that little sparkle I needed in my wardrobe. You know, when you just feel your wardrobe feels a bit flat, and you're experimenting with who you want to be today, and you find that piece that's a bit louder than maybe what you've done, but you feel you can slip into it.
Yeah.
And then it takes you to the next stage of where you are.
Yeah. Like this top.
Like this has this actually, you know, fed into many of my winter inspiration, but also spring. It was an investment, and I have to say with this I bought two.
Did you?
Yeah, and the reason I bought
There's
two...
a theme.
And I've never felt bad about buying two with this, because I knew how hard it would be to get it again, and I also knew it would wear out.
Yeah.
You know, it's not made...
Has it?
A little bit down here, it's worn out.
It's like the updated Stella shirt for you.
It's my updated Stella, and this is the one piece where I don't feel it's less precious because I have two. I just feel... That's
You're
great.
glad you've got the
I'm glad, but the most important thing would be not to wear the other one at all, so it stays good, and that's what I haven't done. I've started to rotate.
I think you should do an eBay shop of all your doubles.
An eBay shop of my doubles. It's Trinny's doubles. The doubles eBay shop coming up soon. Amy, it's been such a pleasure. I feel we want to have Amy on a lot for specific things. I think actually what we should do next, Amy, if you have any time, is when you're going to go and sort of spend a morning doing some shopping in a second-hand store, I'd love to come with you.
That would be fun. Would you come to Leytonstone?
I would come to Leytonstone. It's too quite. I mean,
it's very far.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Only in so much of my hours per day are really cut up, so I kind of like somewhere, whatever.
I could take a
motorbike there or something.
Yeah.
Okay. But I would love that, and I think
too.
our audience would love more information, tips and tricks from you, because you're really fantastic.
Oh, I just loved it. I feel very honoured to be in your wardrobe.
Yeah, it's very nice and honouring to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're watching later on YouTube, then enjoy, and we hope that you got pleasure from this. Amy has her own Instagram, which is Amy Bannerman. Is it
Bannerman?
Bannerman. Am I going mad?
That's a mixture between Bannerman and Battenberg.
I know it is. Battenberg cake. Which is Mount Battenberg.
Amy Bannerman Stylist is my
Amy
Instagram.
Bannerman Stylist, which I went and looked at, and there were some really good things on there. And you should finds you've got.
I'm doing a vintage or a pre-loved piece for my wardrobe that I love and how I wear it every day of September.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Get inspiration there. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, Trinny.